guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I'm Monica and I'm coming at you with a 2024 favorites video. I'm very excited for this because as I was planning out this video, I was debating how I was going to format it, and I landed on that I will be including all the products that I just continually use throughout the year, regardless of if I've included them in past favorites videos or if they're newer, just things that like they earned the favorites title, if that makes any sense. So like I said, some of these will be repeats that I've already mentioned in previous favorites videos, and then some of them will be a little bit newer, some of them will be new releases from the year, or just things I discovered in the year 2024, as well as my holy grails. I felt like that was the best way to do this video so you could really see what I just have continued to love throughout the year of 2024. It's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna start off with makeup. We're gonna start off with like eyes and then go to face and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna go into other beauty products, perfume, a couple of hair items that I want to share with you guys, and then a lip balm. So without further ado, let's just go ahead, jump in, and I'm gonna share my yearly favorites from 2024 with you guys. Maybe it will inspire you to try some of these things if you haven't already. So starting off with eyes, I have to tell you guys about this Sigma eyeshadow primer in the shade Ignite. Now, I have previously raved about the shade Persuade, which is kind of like a painterly tone if you compare it to MAC Paint Pot. This one is more like soft ochre, but I have really been enjoying this one as well. The formula I knew that I was going to love, but when I tried the color, I really like the way it neutralizes the veins in my eyes, so I just had to give this a shout out because it really is so good, and it is a new shade that I did try in the year 2024, so there's a little bit of differentiation there, but I highly, highly recommend this eyeshadow primer if you just want something to neutralize your eyelids and get them ready for eyeshadow. This is the best. Then another eye product that I cannot live without is this Maybelline Single Shadow in the shade Linen. Oh my gosh, this is just the absolute best to set that Sigma eye primer no matter what shade you're using and get it like a nice powdery finish on your eyelid and go in with like a powder eyeshadow formula. Absolutely love this. It neutralizes my eyelids so nicely. I truly cannot get enough, and usually you can get it for like $3 or $4, so definitely something to write home about. Going into eyeshadow now, I loved 4 different palettes this year. These are things that I kept going back to, just could not get enough of. Of course, I have other eyeshadow palettes that I have mentioned in previous favorites videos, and I stand by those, but these are just the ones that I just kept going back to and could not get enough of. The first one I have briefly mentioned on my channel. It is the Ulta Beauty Mini Moods Toasted Tones Little 5 Pan. This thing has been beaten up and battered. I love this. I thought that I was only going to love it with self-tanner on, but it is perfect with both self-tanner and my naturally fair skin. I'm wearing it today. I absolutely love this. It's just one of those things where like the mattes are beautiful and soft. They're so buildable. They don't go on too pigmented in terms of like, if you put it on, it doesn't just stick there. You can easily blend it. It's beautiful. If I were to pick any of the ones from this year, this is the one that I reached for the most, just because it's so easy to work with. All of these are easy to work with, but it was just such a good discovery. Ever since Ulta Beauty rebranded their in-house collection, I have been thoroughly impressed with many, many products. I already loved the brand before, but it was like a few notches up from there. Then I could not do this video without mentioning the Natasha Denona My Mini Dream palette. It's the perfect 5-pan neutral palette. You'll notice that my eyeshadow favorites are all neutral palettes. It's a problem, but I could not not mention this. I know, double negative. It's perfection. It is beautiful. I wasn't a big Natasha Denona eyeshadow person, and then I all of a sudden was. I think there was like a shift when they launched the I Need a Nude palette, and since then I have fallen in love with a few more palettes after that. So absolutely love this one. I love a good mini palette this year. Those were the ones that I traveled with the most because I just loved how compact they were and they fit so easily and they had everything I needed. So the next eyeshadow palette that I fell in love with, and it is not new at all, is the NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette. It is literally perfection. If you've been watching my channel, you know I love the Maybelline Nudes of New York. That has been discontinued, so I have been on the hunt for a drugstore palette that somewhat competes with that, just so I have something that still exists that I can recommend. And this is the closest one I have found. I love it. It's so easy to work with. Love this palette. An eyeshadow palette that I absolutely fell in love with closer to the end of the year, because that's when it came out, is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette, the Moonlight version. It's the cool version, and I am obsessed. I do notice that my other one, I got the original Makeup by Mario one, the very first launch, and that is metal. This is plastic, but it's very thick plastic, and I love this formula so much. Yes, it did come in later at the end of the year, but ever since I got it, I just love to reach for it. The shimmers in here are, of course, that like, you know, they have like that overlay, but in the most beautiful way. It was so much fun to whip out for the holidays and stuff because I felt like it was very festive, but also I just love the formula, and I just love having a nice cool toned navy. It's not green leaning, it's definitely very blue, if that makes sense. I love this. I know it was a little controversial when it came out and people said it wasn't that great. I think it is, and I have been using it very frequently, and it earned its spot. So this is a product that was launched during 2024, but it kind of flew under the radar, and I didn't hear really anybody talking about it, but it is a product from L'Oreal, and it is their Le Shadow Stick, and this is just the best. This is in the shade Alluring Rose, and what I'll do is I will go in with the Sigma, and then just directly go in after with this, and it's the prettiest neutral-ish, but has a little bit of color to it. It goes on so easily. It's like almost like a satin. Like, it's not super shimmery, which I enjoy that it's not because it's a little bit more natural. And if I'm reaching for like an eyeshadow stick, I don't really love them being super shimmery if I'm just gonna wear them all on their own, which typically I do. So this is just such a nice, like, happy medium. Not super matte, not overly shimmery, just in the middle, and the prettiest tone. It stays on all day, especially if you layer it with that Sigma. I like to do that regardless. I don't like to count it against cream shadows if they don't work as well without having that eyeshadow base under it, because I use an eyeshadow base anytime I use powder, so that would be like a little hypocritical to be like, why isn't this lasting as long, when the shadows, like the powder shadows, wouldn't last as long either without that base. So I just absolutely love just layering this over the Sigma. Super easy. It is kind of like a one and done if you don't count the Sigma product first, but I do absolutely love this. It is such an easy thing to put on, and it looks good on like so many different skin tones. So as much as I love the Rare Beauty mascara, and I do a lot, I didn't reach for it much this year, so I decided not to include it in this video. It's still a favorite, but I really leaned into the brown mascara trend, and the one that I felt like was the winner was the Essence Lash Without Limits. It is the truest brown. I'm wearing it today. I just love how a brown mascara looks on me because I feel like it's not as harsh. I'll definitely return to black mascara in the future, like I don't have a problem with it, but this is just so good. It's like $4 or $5, and it goes so nicely with lash primer on its own. It really lengthens and volumizes. I just feel like it looks so nice. You can use it if you're wanting to do a more glam look, and of course brown is a little bit more natural, so you can just use it on its own, and I just love the way it looks regardless of what I use with it. It's just such a good formula. It's so cheap. I do use a different lower lash mascara, and it is black. This thing has been beaten up and battered. I need to repurchase it, but this is the Lash Discovery from Maybelline. It is black, but it's so thin that you can't even really tell because it's just kind of to darken my lower lashes. I don't like the spidery look, and that's the perfect alternative. So I absolutely love it. It's so good. I love the Sephora 12-Hour Colorful Eyeliners. My most used shade, as you can tell because it's so little, is the shade Coconut. This is what I use on my lower waterline, and I just put it right over the swatch with a L'Oreal. But it's just a nice nude shade that just kind of like makes you look a little bit more awake. I don't know about you, but my eyes really show when I'm tired, especially that lower waterline, because it gets really pinky, really red looking, and that just helps kind of neutralize it and make me look a lot more awake without being really stark like a white eyeliner. So I absolutely love it. I also love several other colors from that line. Tiramisu is a brown that I love. It's just Sephora collection really kills it in that area. So no matter how many eyebrow products I try, I always return to my holy grails that have been my holy grails for years. The Covergirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil and the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I just love this combo so much. You can use this on its own and it looks fantastic, but you also can use them together and it just creates the most beautiful natural brow look, but a little bit more filled in. I've got blonde eyebrow hair, so it's nice to have something to help fill in the sparse areas and just make me look a little bit more put together. Wish that category were a little bit more interesting, but I would be lying if I said that I like something more than that. because those are my favorite. So on to face, I have 3 concealers I'm gonna share with you and 2 foundations. These are the things that I returned to throughout the year. I would stray, I would come back. These are my favorites. So first, I just have to give a little shout out to the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is what I use to spot conceal. You can't tell right now, but my skin is freaking out. I don't really know what's going on. I think it's the dry weather. When my skin gets really dry, it decides to freak out. So this is just helping me cover the red spots, cover the blemishes, and just really helping to conceal prior to foundation so I don't have to use as much foundation. I love this. There's no other alternative that works nearly as well, so that's really all I can say about that. So you guys know that I love the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Stick Foundation. It is my all-time favorite stick foundation. I have repurchased it several times throughout the year of 2024. I wish I could say that it was different for me this year, but it wasn't, and I really actually don't wish that because I love this so much. It is just perfect. You can literally just like throw as much as you want to on and it does not look cakey, no matter how much you put on. So it's really customizable. You can build it up, you can keep it sheer. I absolutely love this, so I just had to shout it out. Then one that did come out this year, or at least came to popularity, is the Tirtir Foundation. I was putting this on today. I actually have both of these foundations on today. I put one on one half of my face and one on the other, and the Tirtir is on this side. It has so much coverage in the best way. Somehow it's full coverage, but it looks natural. So I was putting it on, it looks so good. It gives you like a nice satin finish, which is my preferred finish, and it lasts so well throughout the day. The way that you can tell that I love these is that I have both of them in my self-tan shade. I always have to have them on hand. I cannot live without them. They are so good and truly, at least as of right now, irreplaceable in my routine. I just love them so much, so I had to kind of reinforce my love for them. So I've talked about this concealer 12,000 times. This is the Catrice True Skin. It is fantastic. $7 on Amazon, really underrated. I love it so much. I think it is fantastic. It's medium coverage, but I like to let it sit, and then I get a little bit more coverage. I do suffer from pretty severe dark circles when I don't sleep. If I get more sleep, they're not as bad. But when I don't get sleep, like that is what shows my lack of sleep the most. And this always comes to the rescue. I love it so much. You do have to set it, but I have to set all my concealers, so I really don't count that against them. I love this so much and highly recommend it. Another one of those things that I have in both my fair skin shade and my self-tan shade. A concealer that I tried out in 2024 is the Natasha Denona HyGlam Concealer. These very similar. This is just one though that I absolutely love. Every time I apply it, I'm kind of like, this may be one of those high-end concealers that actually could be worth the money, even though it's very similar to Catrice. If you're like, I love Natasha Denona, or I need to just like, I don't really want to purchase a lower end concealer. I don't know, there are some people like that. This is the one I would highly recommend. It beats out every other high-end concealer I've ever tried, and it's truly the best. I need to get it in my self-tan shade, even though I love the Catrice. You see what happens when you expose yourself to a lot of makeup? It makes it harder to narrow down your favorites. So the fact that I even narrowed it down to 3 different concealers is pretty impressive if you ask me. So in terms of powder, the one that I kept falling back on this year is the Essence Cover and Last Powder Foundation, actually. I have this, once again, say it with me, in both my fair and self-tan shade, and I'm wearing the shade Bright Beige right now. It looks so nice. It just does a great job of kind of mattifying, but not making you overly cakey or matte or anything like that. It does so well in the summer as well. I actually didn't reach a ton for my e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation, which was like my favorite throughout the year of 2023 and maybe 2022. I think it came out that year. And this one kind of took over in 2024. I just feel like it does such a nice job over breakouts, over dry skin. It just is beautiful. I don't use it a ton by itself. I really do use it to set my face, but it's fantastic. It really is. So I had an interesting time narrowing down my bronzers. I almost put in my L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer, but there was one that I discovered that I really just kind of, it was like halfway through the year that I discovered it, and I have just been loving it. I whip out the L'Oreal one a lot and pair it with the cream bronzer I'm gonna mention, but I also whip out this one a lot by itself and with a cream bronzer, and I just really wanted to highlight this one because I used the L'Oreal one a little less than this one. So this one kind of beat that one out, but this is the RMS Beauty Bronzer. Actually, this I layer over the cream bronzer, so keep that in mind. This is in the shade Beach Walk Betty. I did get this on sale during one of Amazon Prime days, like their July or June one, whenever it was during the summer. This is so good. Their HydraBronzer is just beautiful. It has like a little bit of luminosity to it, but not like super glowy. So I just loved it so much. It's beautiful on its own. It's beautiful layered over the cream bronzer I'm going to talk about. I'm wearing it today. I love it so much. So easy to use. I also want to make a little shout out of the bronzer brush that I love. The Rephr 05 brush. This is such an expensive brush. It's like $52. I ended up purchasing 2 more. I had one that I got free with a gift of purchase, like with EmCosmetics years ago, and that's how I discovered it. And I couldn't stand it anymore. I needed more. So I got 2, and they were 50% off during Black Friday, so I got 2 more for $28, which is a lot easier of a price to deal with. Still expensive, but I just cannot live without that bronzer brush. It's my absolute favorite. No matter the ones that I always try to break my habit and my love for that, they never work as well, at least. They're fine, but this is the best. The cream bronzer that just had to win is the Physicians Formula Diamond Bronzer. I want to get this in their other shade. This is in the lightest shade. It kind of got put to the wayside when I was self-tanning because it was like basically the same color as my skin during that time. But I love this. It's like the Merit bronzer, like the one in a stick, in a pan. It is the easiest one to use. I can truly say that if I got rid of all of my bronzers and just had this one like cream bronzers, I would be totally fine. The high-end ones, the other ones I have, I really enjoy those. I love some of those, but this is just my favorite. That's why I want to get it in the other shade, so I never have to live without it during the summer months because it is so great. My only caveat with it is you may have noticed that I'm saying other shade. They only have one other shade, at least as of right now when I'm filming this. Maybe they will come to their senses and come out with more shades. They desperately need to. I don't know why we're still having this conversation in 2024 and 2025, but here we are. But I do really love this. It's the best. It's the easiest to use, and I love it so much. So you have heard me talk about the EmCosmetics blush, the Heaven's Glow blush in Baroque. I have been using it for many years and loving it. It is the best, very light and neutral, but the one that I discovered in the year 2024 is the shade Rococo. I am wearing it today. It's actually one that I bought for my self-tan skin, so I had to tone it down a little bit because it is a little bit deeper for my fair skin, but I love it. I just cannot live without these blushes. Another one of those situations where if I got rid of all my blushes and just had these, I would be totally fine. Because these are the best. I love a glowy blush, but they're not overly glowy. I just think that they bring such life to your face and they're not overly pigmented on the first, like, blusheroo. I don't know where I was going with that. But you don't have to really work with it unless you have too dark of a shade, in which you do. But I just love them so much. Like I said, I had to have a shade for my self-tan skin that really showed up, so that's why I got Rococo, and I ended up using that most of the year. I have whipped it out a few times for my fair skin, including today, like I said, but I usually do kind of lean on the shade Baroque when I'm fair because it's a little bit easier to work with fair skin, but Rococo is also fantastic. I love that entire line. I also have a bright pink one from that line. I think it was a limited edition one that I love to bring out during the summer because it's really fun. So when narrowing down my lip products of the year, I came down to 3 lip products that I leaned into the most, and honestly, those were the ones that I picked out. We're not going to be surprised by the first one. This is the Rimmel Lip Liner in the shade Innocent. I have loved this for years. It has gone through a reformulation. It's even better now. The perfect nude lip. I whip it out when I'm fair, like now. I whip it out when I'm self-tanned. It's great. It's just fantastic. You can get it at Walgreens. It's like $5 or something like that. I can't get enough of it, but I can't keep talking about it too much because I've talked about it a lot on my channel. I have loved the e.l.f. lip oil for years. Whenever it first came out, I first got the shade Honey Talks, which was a very frequently used product in 2024. But I also kind of ventured into other shades this year, and the other shade that I used very frequently, especially in the fall and when I was a little tanner, is the shade Jam Session. I just love it so much. It goes on somewhat sheer, but also has a nice bit of pigmentation. You can kind of see right there, but it is just so pretty. It's like a berry-ish, I don't know, like a cranberry, I guess, shade. Love it so much. I just think it is the prettiest. Honey Talks was one that I, like I said, whipped out all the time because I just love it so much. It's such a tried and true. It's really been beaten up and battered, but I just love that lip oil the most out of all the ones I've tried. And I've tried a lot. So the lipstick that I really leaned into this year when picking like a bullet lipstick was the L'Oreal Nude lipsticks, especially in the shade Rebellious. This is the perfect pinky nude for if you're fair. I can also wear when I'm self-tan. I did do that a few times, but it is just perfection. If you are one of those people who's like, I've been looking for pinky nude for my fair skin for years and I never find the right shade, this is the one for you. I'm also wearing it today over that Rimmel lip liner. I love that combo. I also love to wear this by itself, but I will have to say my favorite is to wear it with the Rimmel because it's so good. This lipstick formula is the best. I have it in a few more shades, but this is my most used shade, especially throughout the year 2024. So I had to give this one a particular shout out. It also lasts very, very well through like oil and vinegar on a salad. It's so, so, so good. Truly the best lipstick, matte lipstick, but overall lipstick formula at the drugstore. Now we are on to other beauty items, and I want to start this section off with this lip balm. This is the Tatcha, the Kiss You Lip Mask. If you kind of take a gander in there, you can see it is so juicy looking. I love this so much. I was one of those people that was like, I've tried so many lip balms and they're all pretty much the same or they're just not working at all. This is the one that will heal cracked, chapped lips. I have very dry lips, especially in the winter, and I get this and the next day they are fantastic. I love it so much. It really is worth the price. I highly recommend it. So real quick, let's do some hair things. I want to shout out two things from Davines or Davines. I don't know how to pronounce this brand yet, somehow. But first, let's start off with the hair butter. This is what I use as my deep conditioning mask that I rinse out, but I let it sit in my hair for like 30 minutes when I'm doing my moisture routine. I have two different hair routines. I'm very high maintenance. But it's fine. I'm just high maintenance for myself, okay? So when I do my moisture routine, as I say, I use a moisturizing shampoo and conditioner, and then I also use this before the conditioner. I have very, very dry hair. It's manageable, and I've gotten it to a really, really good place. It's super healthy now, but I can always like kind of go heavy in with the conditioner. So I love to add hair butter once a week during my, I use like, how can I explain this? I do a moisture routine. I wash my hair twice a week. And so one week I'll do my moisture routine. The next week I'll do my strength routine, and then I'll keep alternating. So once a week I do a hair treatment to kind of coincide with those routines. And when I'm doing the deep conditioning one, this is what I use. I love it so much. And Oi, this is your best smelling line. It's recently started being sold. That was a terrible sentence. Recently, Sephora started carrying it, and you can buy it there now. I think it's just online for right now, but hopefully they'll start bringing it in stores. But if you get the Oi line from this brand, it's the best smelling hair stuff ever. So in that same line is my leave-in conditioner. This is the all-in-one Milk. This is for drier hair, so if you have fine hair, and this probably wouldn't be for you, same with the butter, but it's so good. I love to use this. I love to just spray it in. I also will get a little bit on my hands to really work it in there. It also smells like that, so my hair always smells fantastic. Not to brag, but I absolutely love this stuff so much. I really loved the Redken All Soft Mega Leave-In. They discontinued it, and when I discovered this through my hairdresser because she would use it, I immediately went to this and just have not turned back. It is the best if you have dry, coarse, thick hair, and you got a lot of it. So a hair oil that I actually believe did come out in the year 2024 is the L'Oreal Professional Absolute Repair Oil. So I was one of those people where I was like, I always have a hair oil in my routine, but I really don't feel like they're all that different from each other. They all kind of provide the same things. Sure, some are better than others, but overall they were generally the same. Until this one. This has been a lifesaver. It also smells fantastic. It is my last step in my routine. Look, I've had it since it came out, and I use one pump, and that is plenty for my hair, which is saying something because typically in the past I've had to use like 3 pumps of oil for my mid shafts and ends because I have a lot of hair to deal with. So one pump is fantastic. This is the one that I will continue to repurchase it. I love it so much. It is so, so great at just kind of like keeping your ends really healthy. I haven't gotten a haircut in, I don't know, 5 months, and it still looks like my hair's pretty freshly cut. Sure, it probably could go for a trim, but definitely better than it has been in the past. So I'm really, really impressed with this. So let's talk about some fragrance. That is our last category for the day. I want to talk about some body sprays. First I've got this Mix Bar Salt Petals Hair and Body Mist. This is something I got last year, and I just really got into body mists, and I was like, this will be the perfect one for spring and summer. And it is, like, you can wear it any time of year, but I do like a little bit of a saltier, petalier scent for spring and summer. I feel like that kind of fits the vibes. And so this one I absolutely fell in love with. It actually lasts like 8 hours for being a body spray. I feel like that's pretty impressive. As you can see, I used it quite a lot. I would only use 2 spritzes and it would last a decent amount of time. So absolutely love this. Another body spray that I more recently discovered but have literally been living in on a day-to-day basis is the Being Frenchy or French, I don't know how to pronounce this brand. This is Ashley Tisdale's brand. This is her hair, body, and linen mist in the scent Cashmere Vanilla. I kind of got this for a fall and winter body spray, and that's pretty much how I've been using it. Yes, it has a vanilla-y scent, but it actually kind of smells slightly musky. I'm terrible with notes in fragrance. I can identify when something smells like something, like I'll be like, that smells like my childhood or whatever, but I can't exactly sit there and tell you the notes, except for it just smells delicious. And if you're looking for a fall and winter scent that is not nauseating, because I am super, super sensitive to that, this is the one for you. So perfumes, I have to give this a shout out. This is my absolute favorite perfume of all time, pretty much. Like, I have other ones I love pretty equal to this, but this is the one I always fall back on and get the most compliments on. It is the Maison Margiela, I'm terrible with accents, I'm sorry. The replica perfume in Sailing Day. It is the best. I have kind of been like, oh, I use it for spring and summer, and I have, but I will have to say, I packed this for like Christmas and wore it during Thanksgiving, and I was like, you know what? This is an everyday scent. I love it so much. It lasts so well. I get so many compliments on it. Like I said, people will stop me in their tracks. It's a fresh scent, but not a linen scent. It smells so divine. Go give it a sniff. I don't know. I was trying to say smell and sniff, and both of those also sounded like kind of weird. Go check it out at your local Sephora or Sephora in your Kohl's. I promise you will probably love it. It's not nauseating at all. So I do want to give a little shout out to my favorite Fleur scent. This is the Scent Somebody Would. I love this so much. I do reserve it for fall and winter and then date nights because it is a little bit of a heavier scent, not in a nauseating way, but just a little bit heavier for like day to day. You can wear it whenever you want, but you know what I mean. I love this so much. It also lasts so well. I do get compliments on pretty much all of these scents, by the way. But this is another one I get compliments on, and it's a nice sexy scent, but not in a like nauseatingly, you know, in your face sort of way. I really, really enjoy it. So one I absolutely had to give a shout out to that did come out in the year 2024, and is limited edition, which is so infuriating, is the Rare Beauty perfume. This is just in her like scent Fine Comfort. She has the body spray, which I also have, but this is the one I really reach for the most. I just recently got the body spray, so I didn't really want to mention that. But ever since this came out, I just, for some reason, just wanted it. I'm gonna be honest. That reason is because the packaging is gorgeous. I love this color. I love everything about it. The body spray is like a toned down version of this. This smells so good. It smells like lemony, but like not overly so. There's just, it's just so pretty. I love it. She needs to take it away as limited edition. That is a terrible idea, and she needs to come out with a full-size version. I love this so much. I can't get enough of it. I wore it on my birthday and got quite a few compliments, and so I just had to give it a little shout out. Selena, if you're watching, you're not, but if you're watching, please don't discontinue this and go ahead and just come out with a giant version. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much. So those were all my favorites from the year 2024. I feel like I did a good job of kind of curating exactly what I continued to go back to throughout the year and the things that I discovered throughout the year that I just could not get enough of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this format. If you did, let me know, because I do kind of want your feedback for future favorites videos, but I just wanted to give you guys a nice little curated collection of makeup that maybe you could check out if you haven't yet, and things that I just cannot get enough of. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am so excited for the year 2025. I have so many fun video ideas coming your way. I'm so excited to be back at it. I've actually missed being in my filming room because I was doing a lot of vloggy content at like the tail end of the year, as well as also in the fall, and I love doing that, but I have to admit I also love a good sit down video, so I hope you guys are excited for quite a few of those that are coming your way. I'll include vlogs as well, but I am going to be doing a series of sit down videos, I think, just because I've missed it personally, and I love being here in this room with you guys, getting ready, trying out products and all that good stuff. So I hope you're excited for what is to come. I just think that it's gonna be such a good year. Hopefully it'll be all of our year, all of ours. What? I hope that this year will be all of our year this year. That is my hope. I do hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I'd love to have you become a part of my family long term, so definitely go check out the rest of my channel if you haven't yet. If this does happen to be the first time you stumbled across my channel, go check it out. See if you like what I put out there, and subscribe like I said, because I truly would love to have you become a part of my community over here. But anyway, I do hope you guys are having the best first part of your 2025 and have the best rest of your day, and I will go ahead and see you guys in my next video. Bye!